Knowledge cultivation is a perplexing topic. You see, we as mankind have a general apathy towards it. We start our lives very structured for 20 odd years. All of our learning journeys are mapped out for us. We've got curricula, and we've got teachers, and we've got set bits of knowledge that we need to learn. And once we learn all of this, the world goes, well done, here's your gold star, you progress to the next level. And it feels amazing. That's why children are generally so much happier than adults. And then we get to adulthood and we kind of assume that either we know enough to enter the world, or we just become blind to the fact that knowledge is the true liberator of our endeavors. Because it's a personal currency, right? You've got money, you've got energy, you've got time, you've got all of these things. And everyone's always Googling, how do I make the best use of my time? How do I earn more money? How do I make more meaningful connections with people? The answer to all of this is knowledge. And while you'll find little snippets of knowledge along the way, if you really want to get to a point where your learning journey is more complete, you need to develop a pipeline for knowledge. You need to understand how much knowledge you have on something, how much knowledge you don't have on something, and how to bridge that gap so that you can move into action with your knowledge. And that's what we're going to look at today. So we're going to start at the very, very baseline, and we're going to look at the relationship between knowledge and your awareness of your knowledge, because only once you've identified all this can you really then start working towards the next steps.
On the x-axis, we have knowledge, and on the y, we have our awareness of our knowledge. Then, if we split both in half, we are presented with quadrants. Bottom left, you have 0 knowledge and 0 awareness. We'll call it quadrant 1 for easy reference. And on the upper right, we have knowledge and awareness of our knowledge. Now, quadrant 1 is where you don't know what you don't know. You're completely ignorant and unconsciously incompetent. Quadrant 2 is where you know something, but you're not aware of it. You can do things, but you likely take it for granted. Quadrant 3 is where you have enough awareness to realize your knowledge is limited and you know what you don't know. And finally, quadrant 4 is where you know what you know, or conscious competence. Now, of course, we as living creatures have vast amounts of knowledge, and this knowledge is spread over the entire diagram. You are most likely in quadrant 4 in terms of basic literacy, how to make coffee, or how to load up your favorite video game. But in terms of, say, the deeper context of the E8 structure, the Patanjali Sutras, or intimate details of a stranger's life, you're in quadrant 1. My interpretation of these quadrants is not particularly academic, but quadrant 1 for me pretty much means you are useless and potentially dangerous. Quadrant 2 poses a different challenge, one that affords you the capacity to reflect. Quadrant 3 is easy to move on from with some learning. Quadrant 4 is where you are ready for action, and that's where we all want to be.
Now that you understand how knowledge is mapped in all the quadrants, the obvious conversation is, how do you move in between all of these blocks? I'll be developing some new content on that very soon.